Every TA has that moment. You're supporting a group of students. The teacher is busy elsewhere, and suddenly it happens. The classroom descends into chaos. Instead of writing sentences, they're flicking pencils at each other. Some students are struggling because of the disruption, and the teacher returns, eyebrows raised. How are they getting on? She says. And you're left trying to explain why Zara has only written her name in bubble letters and Sam is balancing a ruler on his nose. Hello there, fabulous TAs. I'm Lauren Reesner. I was a TA, one-to-one, and HLTA for 20 years, and I even did 6 weeks of teacher training, but I absolutely hated it. And now I create videos that answer all your TA questions. So if you want to learn more about being a TA, grow in confidence, cope with interviews, and all manner of other TA related stuff, start right now by subscribing to my channel. Keeping students on task isn't just about getting through the lesson plan. It's about helping them develop focus, confidence, and the ability to work independently. But let's be honest, primary age children aren't naturally wired to sit still and concentrate for long periods. They're curious, fidgety, and easily distracted. That's where a skilled TA makes all the difference. By using simple but powerful strategies, you can keep students engaged, reduce off task behaviour, and create a learning environment where every child feels supported and capable. Let's dive into some strategies now. So, 1. Keeping students on task 1. Give clear, simple instructions. Why does this work? Students often get off task because they don't fully understand what they're supposed to be doing. When instructions are too complex or vague, children lose focus before they even begin. So, how do you implement giving clear and simple instructions? Well, firstly, break it down. Instead of saying complete page 14 and then check your answers before moving on to page 15, say start with question 1 on page 14. Let me know when you've done 3. Use a visual cue. Write key steps on a mini whiteboard or highlight them in their workbook so they have something to refer back to. Check understanding. Ask one student to repeat back the instructions in their own words before the group starts working. If they're unclear, chances are others are too. Keeping students on task 2. Use the power of proximity. Now, why does this work? When a TA is physically present near students, it acts as an invisible nudge to stay on task. Many children will naturally refocus when they feel an adult nearby. So, how do you implement this way of using the power of proximity? Well, you can move around the room. Instead of staying in one spot, walk between tables and check in with different students. Your presence alone reduces distractions. You can use silent signals. A tap on the table, a raised eyebrow, or a gentle touch on the shoulder can bring a student back to focus without interrupting the lesson. And you can position yourself strategically. Stand near students who need the most support, but make sure you're not always in the same spot so the rest of the group stays accountable too. Keeping students on task 3. Make it a game. Why does this work? Well, some students focus best when there's an element of challenge or urgency. Turning tasks into a game can boost motivation and engagement. So, how do you implement this? You could do beat the timer. Set a mini deadline. You could say something like, let's see if you can finish these 3 questions before my sand timer runs out. Silent work challenge. Challenge the group to work quietly for 5 minutes. If they succeed, they earn a class point. Teamwork focus. Pair students and challenge them to help each other stay on task. They can check in after every 5 minutes to keep each other accountable. Keeping students on task. 4, provide purposeful encouragement. Why does this work? Students are more likely to stay on task when they feel seen and appreciated for their effort rather than just the outcome. So, how do you implement this? Use specific praise. So, instead of saying something very generic like well done, say, I love how you focused you've been. I'll start again. Say, I love how focused you've been on writing your sentences. This helps students understand what behaviour to repeat. So it's always a good idea to tell them what it is they've done well. Encourage effort, not just results. If a student is struggling but trying, acknowledge that. So you could say something like, I can see you're really thinking about this problem. Keep going. I'm here to help if you need me. And recognise small wins. Celebrate when a child overcomes a challenge. You could say, you found that tricky, but you stuck with it and got there. Brilliant resilience. So you can see it is about being specific in your praise and using praise for trying, not just for a good outcome. Keeping students on task. 5, reduce distractions before they happen. When you reduce distractions before they happen, it distractions can be prevented altogether because you've used a bit of foresight. If you can remove the temptation to go off task, students will naturally stay more focused. So how do you implement this? Desk check. Before starting, make sure each student has what they need so they don't get up looking for a ruler halfway through. Limit fidgety temptations. If certain objects like rubbers and water bottles, etc., are causing distraction, encourage students to place them to one side. And create focus zones. If some students struggle more than others, position them in a quieter area where they can work with fewer interruptions. Always a good idea to have an area of the classroom where there's nothing on the wall, maybe in the corner of the classroom, where you can have a couple of tables. There's nothing to look at on the wall. Maybe the students face the wall. You could have ear defenders as well if they choose to wear them. That all helps to help students focus. And if you can do that with maybe one or two disruptive students, that often calms down the rest of the class. And did you know that research shows that students are most focused in the first 10 minutes of a task? After that, attention naturally dips. So breaking work into smaller chunks is definitely the way to go. Now, we started this video by asking the question, what's the worst that could happen? But let's flip that question and ask, what's the best that could happen? Well, now that you know these strategies, the classroom could feel calm and focused. Students know exactly what to do, and you see them making real progress. Struggling students feel capable and confident. Instead of shutting down, they give it a go because you made the classroom a calm place to work. And you feel in control and valued because the teacher sees the difference you make and the students know they can rely on you. Keeping students on task isn't just about getting through a lesson. It's about helping them develop skills that will last a lifetime. Focus, resilience, and a love of learning. And you are a big part of that. So next time you're in the classroom, try these strategies and see what works best for you and your students, because it's really important that you understand that it is a work in progress. So if the teacher leaves the room, for a start, when the teacher leaves the room, kids see an opportunity because they believe the TA is not as in charge as the teacher. So if you implement consistently these strategies, it will get better and better for you. You will feel more and more confident. And it is important that you understand it is a work in progress because these children are still learning. I mean, let's face it, how many adults do you know who can't sit still when you go on a course? You know, how many adults do you know that stay quiet? So it is a work in progress. So don't feel bad if you temporarily feel as though you're losing control of the classroom. You will regain it if you try these strategies. Now, I hope this has helped you feel more confident about your ability to keep students on task. There is a PDF that accompanies this video and it contains everything in it. So if you want it, just put free PDF please in the comments section below. And if you'd like more great info, watch the video that's just popped up on the screen now.